Hello guys, welcome back with the power rankings for the Discord Showdown League. Week 3 is now over and I will be going over the power rankings for this week. So first of all, like always, keep in mind these power rankings are totally opinionated, they are my opinion, and if you don't agree with me, just feel free to discuss with me in the comment section. So let's just hop in right to the power rankings. I still have to say, I can say this beforehand. This week 6 of the 8 matches were done. One match resulted in a forfeit because one of the coaches didn't show up, and one of the matches is postponed because Weimar, the coach of the Miami Infinite, is still feeling not too well. So I hope he will be better soon. But until then, his matches will be postponed until he gets back. So at number 16. At number 16, we still have the Cincinnati P-Drills, goes by Mr. Mega P-Drill. This week he lost again. He lost in a 4-0 fashion to Andrews with the Ariagolas Pengoros, and this match was what can I say about the match? The match was fairly short, and the B-Drills made some, you could say some questionable calls. What you could see from the team matchups was that a call like Mega Slowbro could be scary for the B-Drills, so you had to look out for that. And Scully Pete also was a big threat then for the Pengoros, if not for the Skarmory. So with that in mind, they started the match, but kind of soonish in the match, Slowbro comes in on the Shuckle, gets toxic, so Mega Slowbro threat is on a timer now, so that's nice for the B-Drills. But then somewhere later on he decided to Sword Dance up on a Mega Slowbro with his Mega Khalid, and the Mega Slowbro just two-shot on him with Sidekick because the hardest hitting move he had after the Sword Dance was Shadow Sneak, did only 30%, so I didn't really know why he decided to set up there. But I don't think that was a great call on his part. He could have maybe saved it for later, or just went into a mon that could have taken Mega Slowbro better on. And then also, as I mentioned, Scolipede was a big threat for his opponent's team, if not for Skarmory. But he decided to Sword Dance up with the Scolipede on the Skarmory, so I don't know why he did this. But yeah, Skarmory just takes it out with a Brave Bird. So really weird plays by the B-Drills, and that's for the main part, that's why he is at number 16 for me. And then the match fairly shortly after ends because Tornado Steel comes in, kills the Skarmory with a heat wave. Kudra comes in, kills Kudra comes in, Tornado Steel switches out into Kyurem, which would takes a Draco Meteor to the face and dies straight up. Then Kudra is able to T-Bolt paralyzed Tornadus and kills it with 2 Ice Beams after. This paralyzed was mattered a bit, but Tornadus still wasn't able to kill Kudra before Kudra could kill it. And this resulted in a 4-0 victory for the Pengoros. So yeah, overall it was a fairly short match. The Beatles, I think they set up on the wrong times, and with this they made some questionable plays, and that's why for me they are still number 16. So on to our number 15. On number 15 we have the Ducklet Typhlosions. Ducklet Typhlosions this week was the team that took a forfeit loss against the Mgago Tel Aviv, resulting in a 3-0 loss for them. And now they also have 3 losses, minus 8 differential. It's wrong here on the sheet, it's minus 8. But this is why he dropped down 2 places for me. He still has no win in this season. And yeah, he was a no-show this week, so I can't really tell you much more about his match. And I put him above the B-Drills because in the other matches he showed to me a bit more than the B-Drills did, and he also has a better differential. So on to our number 14. Number 14 we then have the previously discussed Pengoros. They pick up their first win of the season, and they are now 1-2 with a minus 4 differential. So he had a big win, and as I mentioned, he just played fairly safe this match, and his opponent made the weird plays, which made it a fairly easy win for him. So yeah, congrats to Andrews for his first win, and hopefully he can climb up from here. So this is going quite fast, but there will be some in-depth later on with more of the matches. So at number 13 then we have the Dark Void Dunsparce. They are again dropping 2 places this week. They are now 1 and 2, -2 differential, so not that big of a differential, but they lost this week in a 2-0 fashion to Tepik and the New England Amboers. This match, what did this match come down to? It was fairly, I must say, it was quite a nice match. What I saw from team preview was that Superior on the Dunsparce could be a big threat for his opponent. But then when we are in the match, you can see from the Dunsparce they lose their Claydol really early on because it's trapped by Gotitel, and this makes Landorus Eye more and more of a threat because Claydol is able to kind of take it on quite nicely due to its levitate ability. And yeah, he loses it kind of straight up. He scares the Gotitel out because he gets an Earth Power Spread Death Drop, but later on he's only able to send it in to set up some rocks. It's really low, it can't do its job effectively anymore. Then the Dunsparce did make a good play. Superior is in, and on Superior Northern is switched in because Northern could kind of safely take on Leaf Storm and then retaliate back because it outspeeds. But he went for Glare, catching the Northern, paralyzing it and slowing it down, which was a really nice play from a Darkrai Slayer. And then later on in the match he decided again to set up with his Slurpuff on Aromatisse that just set up a Calm Mind. He is able to take the Moonblast, but yeah, the only thing he then can kill is the sacked Northern before going down to Extreme Speed from Arcanine. And he could have known this before, maybe set up on a different Mon, but yeah, he is able to take one Mon down. And then this may be the deciding play of the match. Superior kills Suicune with a Leaf Storm, gets a +2 attack raise. Arcanine comes in, he hits it with an HP ground, and it lives on like 1%, and it kills the Superior with Flare Blade. And if this Arcanine went down to this HP ground, and I believe it was a roll, I think it still was a roll in the favor of the Arcanine, but if the Arcanine would have went down there, I think the Dunsparce could maybe have taken this match home due to the Superior just applying sheer pressure on his opponent and Northern paralyzing early. But yeah, then in the end, what happens is Darkrai decides to make a play from with Mandibuzz is in on Landorus Eye. He expects Aromatisse to come in, so he doubles out to Volcanion. But Landorus Eye, with Landorus Eye, Tepik thinks, okay, I can take any one hit Mandibuzz is going to throw at me, probably I can take 2 of them. So he decided to set up a Rock Polish, and with that Rock Polish he outspeeds Volcanion and the Mienshao, kills it with Earth Power, and then kills the Mandibuzz with 2 Stone Edges. So if this was the right play, I don't know. He did win the match due to this play with a 2-0 fashion. I don't know if 2 foul plays would have taken Outlander's Eye, because with Stone Edge I don't know if it was really a tech investment. But if 2 foul plays could have taken him out, I don't think this was his best play to set up here. But yeah, I think this was, but then again, this was I think his best opportunity in this late game, where he would get the opportunity to set up. I don't think against a Volcanion or a Mienshao he would be able to. So yeah, overall this was quite a nice match to see. It may have come down to the HP ground roll, I don't know. But yeah, the Dark Void Dunsparce, they are in 1 and 2, but they improved from last week where they lost in a big 6-0 fashion. So I hope they will climb up from here. They also made one transaction. They dropped Magneton for Heliolisk because they had the points still left on the board. Yeah, and what it does for him is that Heliolisk is just a stronger mon than Magneton. It has better coverage than it. So in that regard, in power regard, I think it's better. In speed, it's better. It's above the 100 mark. But yeah, typing wise, it may be a bit the problem may be that now with his steel type gone, it's only he only has normal immunity in Covagrigus, he only has a dragon immunity in Slurp with no resist anymore, and also he has now only 1 ice resist, while he has 4 weaknesses to it, and that's the Volcanion. So he has to look out with certain types now more, but in the power regard it was a good transaction. So on to our number 12. At number 12 I have the Minnesota Nido Kings, coached by Potako, and they won their first game this week, and they won it in a nice match. They beat the Helsinki Heliolisk Mike, which was quite high in the previous ranking, in a 2-0 fashion. And I must say, with Mega Pinsir and Entei, he could really pressure his okay, wait a sec, guys. Okay, my bad, guys. I was looking totally wrong at the matches. He didn't beat the Helsinki Heliolisk, that was someone else. He did win 1-2-0. He won his first match, but it was against the Vilnius Aerialaces. This was coached by Saitos, which also did great the first week, and the second week he lost, but still his team looked quite nice. But yeah, Potako was able to came out on top, and the main things for Saitos, the coach of the Aerialaces, Hydreigon looked like a problem if he clicked the right moves. But then again, for Potako, Megadiense and Thunderous Eye could have been a problem for him. So then, like fairly early in the match, the Saitos makes some questionable plays. He stays in with his Thunderous Eye to just D-wave a hit on top, and then he gets crit Stone Edges to death. I don't think if this crit mattered. If it was an offensive hit on top, probably not. If it was more of a defensive hit on top, it could have been, but with yeah, it would still leave the Thunderous really low, so I don't know why he decided to stay in just to D-wave. Also, yeah, probably predicting a switch or something. Then a bit later on, he sets up rocks with his Megadiense. This gave Potako like a switch into a certain mon, putting on the momentum back at his side. So this was maybe not the best time to set up rocks. And then came some crucial, I think, planning and sets. Hydreigon was revealed to be against the Gliscor. The Gliscor revealed to be a sub-toxic EQ set, and Hydreigon then revealed that it was a sub-roost set with Flash Cannon and Dragon Pulse. And this was totally walled by this Hydreigon totally walled the Gliscor and could just stall it out, get behind the sub. So if an offensive mon like Megadiense would switch in, it would have it needed to break the sub, and then it dies to a Flash Cannon. So it was a really great prep by Potako, and also it walled the Umbreon. Even with taunt, it could still stall out the Umbreon. Then one unfortunate play happened later on. Hydreigon eventually switched out. Gliscor then goes for Toxic on the incoming Hydreigon, and he misses. So Hydreigon now sets up a sub again, and he's not on a timer due to the Toxic miss. And due to this, Starmie has to come in. It can spin on Hydreigon to get rid of the webs, but because with the webs Hydreigon is faster than like almost the whole team of Saitos. He breaks this up with Scald, but then after breaking it and living a hit, he decided that he goes into Megadiense as Hydreigon subs up again. So the thing was, Starmie was slower than Hydreigon. What he could have done was just let Starmie stay in, repeatedly break his subs. I think Scald was able to break the sub nonetheless, because the first Scald did break the sub, and maybe he even had a coverage move, I don't know. But now, due to his switching out into Megadiense, he then goes back again into Starmie, sacking into Dragon Pulse, and then now the Hydreigon is still behind the sub. So he could have played around this a bit better, because then now Groudon has to come in. It has to break the sub of Hydreigon, and then it dies to Dragon Pulse. Megadiense can't finish off the Hydreigon, but his team is already worn down quite heavily. And then Potako makes some nice plays. He knows he needs Tangrowth a nice amount of health, so he goes into Tangrowth, then sacks it on top, and then Tangrowth later on has more health. Then later on, Gliscor is sacked to the Heatran because it was a scarfed Heatran. He sacks the Gliscor because the Flash Cannon was able to two-shot it at that range, because he thought Umbreon and Magadiance were more important. I don't know if this was the best call. I think it was, because he kind of needed Magadiance to kill some other mons, and Umbreon could take hits from Heatran. Then Umbreon is able to 1v1 the Slowpoke, which was nice. To see it was kind of a bit of a stall first, but Umbreon came out on top. But yeah, the problem then is Magadiance then can kill off the Tangrowth, but Scarf Heatran comes in, and with Flash Cannon it's able to kill the Magadiance, and it's also to be able to 1v1 the Umbreon. So that's why the Gliscor sack was maybe not the best call, because due to the Gliscor sack he lost to Heatran. But yeah, if he had sacked like Umbreon, then he maybe have lost to the Slowbro. So it was a tough call for the Aerial Aces. But yeah, the Nidokings this match, I must say he had a strong showing this week and some great prep with the Hydreigon, and that's why he climbed up to number 12 for me, and I hope he will do great from here on out. So on to our number 11. At number 11 we have then his opponent, the Vilnius Aerial Aces. He dropped down quite a lot. Yeah, the main reason was he played around his opponent's mons like the Hydreigon, sacking of the Thunderous at the beginning. He made some questionable plays. That's why he's now lower in the rankings for me. And also, I can say this, due to this match he said he was hexed so much, and the most important hex was, I think, missing the Toxic. Yeah, also Thunderous was a bit unfortunate, but that was more a questionable play of himself. The Toxic was important, and he said he was hexed so much he was done, and he even left the whole league. I don't agree with this. I don't think you have to let your emotions go to you like that, because it's Pokemon, everything can happen, and we are just playing this game for fun, and we try to make it as competitive as possible, but we all know it's just sometimes not the best players win, and yeah, you can't be too upset about it. But he is now replaced by a guy named Freeze-Dry Jazz. Don't know much about him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to how if he is able to lift the team again and bring it back to a winning record, because now he's 1-2 with a -5 difference. So our number 10. At number 10 we have the Miami Infinite. So due to the other guys, I placed him at number 10. It's one place lower. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, he still is ill, and he isn't able to play still. I hope he will come back as soon as possible and play his matches. But until then, yeah, I wish him well, and I can't tell much about his team. So on to number 9. At number 9 I have the Chicago Grampus, coached by Nova Hawk. And the Chicago Grampus won this week off the Helsinki Helio list. This was the match I got mixed up with with the other match of the Nidokings. But he did win from the Helio list in a 2-0 fashion. And I must say, yeah, this was quite a nice how do you call it? A nice match. And yeah, what I could see with this team, the Mega Pinsir and the Entei together, they really put on pressure on the opponent's side of the Heliolisk. Mike had this Rotom Wash, and it was kind of, the Rotom Wash was there to take on Mega Pinsir and Entei, and this put really much of pressure on the Rotom Wash. And also, the Crobat wasn't brought, so we didn't really have a nice Revenger for mons on the Grambles team like the Mega Pinsir. And also Salamence could have been done work with like a Lumberry for Rotom Wash, and then Iron Tail for the Fairy on the team of the Heliolisk. So that's a thing to maybe keep in mind for the next week of Nova Hawk. But yeah, if you look at it, Entei is able to put on much pressure at the beginning. It toxics the Clefable, then 2 it KOs it with Sacred Fire. Clefable is only able to set up rocks, so that's nice. There's a bit of unfortunate hex then that Spiritomb is in on the Lantern from the Grambles, and he is paralyzed 2 times, and this way he can't get off a Will-O-Wisp on the Lantern, and Lantern is able to just Scald and then Volt Switch out into Entei dodging the Will-O-Wisp. So that was unfortunate, and then he goes probably for a Sucker Punch on Entei for damage, but he's again paralyzed, so really unfortunate how his Spiritomb went down. Then it's Rotom Wash versus the Lantern. Shadow Balls doesn't do much, but yeah, Scald gets the burn on the Rotom Wash, and then it Volt Switch crits, so the Rotom Wash is in KO range from the Raikou that comes in. So yeah, Rotom Wash also goes down this way. So maybe if Spiritomb was not paralyzed, Lantern would have taken residual damage. Rotom Wash could have maybe gone out on top, and also Volt Switch was a crit. Scald was a burn, so yeah. Hex was not going into Mike's favor. Then Mike sacks his Scarf Victini due to fall plays from Gourgeist. It was locked into Zen Headbutt. I don't know why he didn't switch on the Gourgeist. I think he thought the other mons he had left were more important, but I think Scarf Victini was still able to put in work if he could click like other moves later on. But yeah, as a last stage effort, he sets up a Sword Dance with Lucario on the Gourgeist. You know he gets burnt, still Ice Punch is a 2-hit KO, but yeah, it's really low then, and Entei can come in and it takes an E-Speed from Lucario, and his own E-Speed plus the burn damage and takes out Lucario. And yeah, at the end of the match, Mamoswine can then clean up the Berkeley, because it takes a return even after even it being a crit. It takes it kills the Berkeley, and it dies to life of damage, making it 2-0. So overall, I think the Grambles played nice, and in the end I think he did deserve to win. But I think with all the hacks against Mike, I think this could have been a much closer game, and it would have a different end game, I think. And also with maybe the Victini preserved, this also could have been a different game. But that's all I have about the Grambles, and yeah, he did pick up a win again. He is now a winning record of 2-1 with a +2 differential, and that's why he climbed up to number 9 for me. So then at number 8 we have the Love Power Lapras. They had their first loss of the season this week against the Buffalo Bills, coached by Kadi, aka Will. And yeah, Daniel, what do I have to say? Yeah, he lost to one of the better players in the league, I think. And yeah, overall, yeah, at the beginning of the match, Miltank is in on the Q Black. You can, by the way, see this match on Will's channel. I may link this in the description. You probably have already seen it, but if you haven't, go check it out. And yeah, Miltank is able to scare out Q Black, because yeah, Q Black thinks, okay, if it's more defensive one with like Tick Vet, I can't do that much to it. So he switches out, and Miltank then immediately gets up one curse, and then Chandelure comes in, goes for Flamethrower, does like 67% as Miltank recovers, making the middle ground play. But then the Lapras think, okay, he's probably not going to stay in. And Will is just thinking, okay, Miltank is just designed to get some early game pressure on the opponent. So I'm just trying to get as much damage off as possible. And so yeah, the Lapras predict the switch and goes for Shadow Ball on something, yeah, that can take a Flamethrower. And Miltank stays in, does big damage with return because it has a scrappy ability. And yeah, then Chandelure dies to Miltank's next return, because Miltank was still able to take one Flamethrower. This was again an unfortunate prediction for the Lapras. I can kind of see why he did it, but yeah, I don't think switching in the Tunnel Flame on Chandelure would be the smartest play. So maybe overall he should have played it a bit more safe. Then later on, Nidoqueen is able to clean kill the Mega Scissor with Fire Punch. probably it had some speed investment, so it outsped the Mega Scissor and just straight up killed it with Fire Punch. He also could maybe play around this a bit better, because yeah, Mega Scissor, it's not nice that it went down that way, because yeah, it couldn't do that much. Then Human Black comes in. It's probably scarfed yeah, it's probably a scarfed one. And yeah, Makari Will doesn't have any switches, like nobody really has if it clicks the right move, so he decided to just stay in with his Nidoqueen and go for Poison Jab, kind of sacking it off. But Lapras goes for Fusion Bolt, probably predicting like Talonflame, but yeah, Talonflame is not a Q and Black switch, so yeah, and Fusion Bolt doesn't do damage to the Nidoqueen, so he is forced to switch out, and Nidoqueen then is also able to set up rocks. So this is really unfortunate. He makes 2 over predictions. This really costs him the momentum of the game. And then we kind of go to the end game. Latias sets up dual screens. It's more of a support Latias this week. And then Mega Gardevoir comes in on the flaunches. It's able to set up a substitute. Substitute is not broken by Moonblast due to the screens. Then it can set up a Calm Mind. And from here on out, the Calm Mind Gardevoir is able to clean up the game, because Floydges and Regirock and Q and Black all died to Hyper Voices, and Venusaur dies to 2 HP Fires, because it was Sub Calm Mind, HP Fire and Hyper Voice. So this was overall a good game from the Bills, and yeah, the Lapras made some early unfortunate over predictions, and this really cost him the momentum leading into the Mega Gardevoir sweep. So I hope he bounces back from this, but until then, he's number 8 for me. So at number 7 we have the Macargo Tel Aviv. And the Macargo Tel Aviv this week, they have also a 2. They are also 2-1. They won this week by a forfeit win from the Typhlosions, so I don't have much to say about them. I moved them up 3 places because yeah, like all the other guys that were above him did lose in such a fashion that I thought with the matches he played, he won against Grand Bulls, which I've now ranked at number 9, and he lost to the Bayern Munchlax, who I have ranked quite higher. I think this was the right place to fit him, so that's why even without playing his match, he moved up 3 places. He also made transactions. He did a double trade with the Buffalo Bills with Makari, and yeah, off of George he picked up Sock and Shaman, and he traded away his Heracross and his Rotom Cut. So yeah, what is this? Does this do for his team? I think Sock is has a bit of a similar role as Heracross. It's really a powerful mon. It has some other abilities that he can utilize. He can utilize Sturdy, Mold Breaker, something like that. And Shaman overall is compared to Rotom Wash, it's just a more versatile mon. He already had a Zap Striker with his electric type. So yeah, Shaman is nice. Also a cleric, healing with support, can offensive, defensive. So overall, I like the Shaman pickup, and I get that he had to do it in like a double trade, so that he got Sock is not really that much weaker than Heracross was. The only thing he now has, the fact that he only has 1 fighting resist in Togekiss, because Heracross was a fighting resist, maybe not the best one, but it did resist the type. And yeah, now it's only Togekiss, so he has to look out for that one. So then onto our number 6. At number 6 I have the Alemania Archer. And again, about this team I don't have to say, I can't really say much. He also climbed up 1 place because due to the other matches, and yeah, he didn't play his game. He still won a 1 +5 differential. He lost his first game in a really close fashion. It came down to like his Snorlax having a steel type move to hit him back at the end. He didn't, and he won his second game with a big 6-0, which was really nice. And this week he would have played Infinames, but they, due to circumstances, they couldn't play, as I mentioned. So I can't say much about the team anymore, so that's why for me it was number 6. So onto our top 5 then. Rounding out our top 5 are the Helsinki Heliolisk. I've already gone in depth about the match, and yeah, it was just some hacks in the early game, and then in the late game he kind of sacked off his Tini. Don't know what the exact reasons were. Rotom Wash was really pressured with taking on Mega Pins and Entei, and then it also had to take on Lantern in the match. So those 2 mons became big threat for him. And yeah, his Lucario set was a nice set, but Gourgeist was able to cripple it in a way that he couldn't sweep with it. So maybe a special one was better, but yeah, would have predicted the Gourgeist to be the Lucario counter. And also Perugly, I like the mon, but I don't know what it did for him this match. So overall, I think he can easily bounce back. He's still 2-1, he has a +5 differential, and I hope he has a strong showing again next week. But yeah, I think this week was just not his week. So on to our number 4. At number 4 we have the Buffland Bills. They again won this time. They won a big 5-0. As I mentioned, he played a clean game, I have to say, and he played safely in the beginning. He knew with the dual screens on Latios, he was able to set his Mega Gardevoir in action with the Sub-Call mindset, and this really did that one in the game. So he did play a really nice match. I like the Curse Miltank not as a sweeper, but just for the pressure he put on his opponent. And the Nidoqueen set also worked out beautifully. And overall, he's number 4 because he's one of many 2-1 guys, and I think compared to the other ones, he won against the Pangoras and the Lapras. The Pangoras not the best. Lapras are quite a nice team. He lost to the Ambush, which are also ranked quite high. But I think from the top 4, I had to rank him at number 4. And I think definitely with another strong showing next week, he can climb back to that top 3 spot, because he now climbed up 1 spot. And yeah, as I mentioned, he did a trade with Alphajoras, picking up the Heracles and Rotom-Mow. And yeah, what can I say for him? Heracles is a nice status absorber for his team. It's a really strong mon, really nice Scarfer. And yeah, Rotom-Mow also is a nice mon for his team. It's a nice Volt Switch user. Overall, he didn't really have. His first electric type was regular Rotom, so I don't know why he wanted both Rotoms, because he can't bring them to the same match. But still, I think the trade. I don't know if he was approached with the trade and he agreed to it. I think he did. But yeah, overall it doesn't hurt him that much. I think it's only that if you look now at his resists, his only rock resist is Nidoqueen. Because Heracles doesn't resist rock, whereas Sark did. That's the only thing to keep in mind. Other than that, it was a nice trade. And then onto our top 3 then. At number 3 we have the Bayern Munchlax. They dropped down 1 place. They are now still 2-1 +3. And yeah, this was like the match of the week. You can say it was the Bayern Munchlax coached by Megalugia versus the Houndoom Hercules coached by Victor. And yeah, the Hercules won with a big 4-0 fashion. And yeah, if I looked at both teams, Weavile was a big threat for the Munchlax. The only thing he really had for it was like the Vaporeon. Also Latios was a bit scary if not for a special defensive Jirachi. And also Doublade was just really scary for his team. So his opponents really had, I think, a bit better matchup, and some really monsters really scared him. He didn't brought Sylveon. I thought maybe Sylveon had a nice match for like against the Latios and just put holes in his opponent's team. And then for Victor, he didn't bring his Wobbuffet, who could have done work, but I think the Munchlax did prepare nicely for the Wobbuffet. Then in the beginning, he chose to be a substitute Cresselia, which was a really nice bring from him, because he dodges Toxics from the Mega Venusaur this way, and Iron Head from Doublade doesn't even break the sub, so it's a bit of a problem for him. But Mega Venusaur is able to Toxic it before it sets up a sub and leeches it, so it is slowly whittled, making the crest less and less useful. His Mega Lopunny then revealed to have Circle Throw, which was definitely interesting. Still is a 60 base power move, and it forces your opponents to switch out. So instead of baton passing and getting switching initiative, you just Circle Throw the opponent out and still do some damage. It was probably for the Wobbuffet who could have trapped him. And he didn't have that much hazard stack, so maybe just Baton Pass was better for the initiative. If he had hazard stack, definitely Circle Throw was an interesting option. And yeah, then there is some paralyze hacks in the match. Latios is able to T-Ball paralyze the Jirachi, cripple it a bit, then Doublade is fully paralyzed against the Jirachi, as it got T-waved by the Jirachi, so there's again some reverse hacks, because yeah, Doublade could have done big damage to this Jirachi. And then there's also again some unfortunate hacks. Tornadus versus Doublade. There is a wish past Tornadus, but Doublade would be able to take the Tornadus out before the wish comes in action with a Shadow Sneak. But he gets fully paralyzed, he gets knocked off, he still takes it, but then Tornadus gets held back with the wish. So that was really unfortunate, but luckily for him, at the end of the match, Weavile is able to come in after Granbull is able to take on the Mega Lopunny. Weavile comes in and he can kind of clean up the game from there. And yeah, some things to have in mind, I think, for the Bio Munchlax was like he could maybe run like a Tailwind on his Tornadus with Prankster Tailwind, able to then some of his other mons able to outspeed the Weavile and kill it. And also he had Colbur Berry on Cresselia, but the Colbur Berry was probably for the Weavile because that was like the main mon on the Houndoom Hercules with Dark Stab of Dark moves, but he didn't have anything to hit the Weavile, so maybe it was better to run leftovers with your substitute, I think, than the Colbur Berry in this regard. So that's all I have to say about the Bio Munchlax. Took a pretty big loss, but still it was against a good opponent which had, I think, maybe a bit of a better matchup, so that's why he's now number 3 for me. And then onto our top 2. At number 2 we have the New England Ambush, coached by Tepic. He's still undefeated with a +5 differential. He hasn't played it week 2 because it was against the Infinite, as I have mentioned before. And yeah, this match he won from the Dark Void Dunsparce. He played a nice game, Calm Mind Aromatizos, for example, a nice set. The only things I have to note is he may have won the match due to a low roll of the HP ground of the Superior. And yeah, the Rock Polish and the Eye was definitely a great bring, but it was a bit risky to set up against the Manipus. If it had fall play, if it would have been able to two-shot the Dangerous Eye, but he was able to come out on top. But I think the biggest problem was at the beginning, and what the problem was, he didn't have much for Superior. And if you look at this roster, like Special Defensive Arcanine could have taken it on. I don't know if it was really special defensive, but also a mon like Among Us with like maybe Special Defensive plus AV or something, and then Regen is really able to take it effectively on, because Sludge Bomb is super effective, it can take any hits. So I felt that was like could have been a great bring on his part, but yeah, he didn't bring it. And yeah, he still won the match, but because he hadn't the strongest showing, he now dropped down 1 place to number 2 spot. Also, he made 1 transaction for his team. The transaction he made was he dropped his Mega, that was Mega Heracross, for Mega Sableye, probably realizing that his team was not that great of a support team for the Mega Heracross. And Mega Sableye gives him like another way to deter hazards. He only had Cryogonal, which was already weak to hazards, but now Magic Bounce Mega Sableye is a great addition to his team. It also gives him a Spin Blocker in the Sableye. It also gives him Stab Knockoff in the Sableye, so that's really nice. The only thing this does to him typing wise is that his only Dark Resist now is the Aromatisse, so that's maybe a bit of a problem. And also, if you look at his physical presence on his team, the biggest physical presence are Rhydon and Arcanine, which are mons who also like to go more bulky. So his physical side may not be that well supported as his special side is. But overall, I think Mega Sableye, for the hazards and the spin blocking potential, it is a really nice addition to his team. So then onto our number 1. as you may have noticed, we have now a new number 1. The topic dropped down 1 place, and our new number 1 is Victor, coach of the Houndoom Hercules, climbing up 2 places. He's still undefeated. He's played 3 games, won all 3 of them. He has a differential of plus. Here it says plus 13, but I think it's actually plus 12 because he has won 3 times with a 4-0. And as I mentioned this match, he had a clean game plan. He knew kind of that the doublet was like had really a potential to sweep his opponent most of the time, and also Weaver was a big threat to his opponent. So those two combined really were nice. When he eventually broke through the Cresselia, the match became a lot easier for him, and he had some unfortunate hacks with the doublet, and he couldn't take out like the tornadoes, but the Weevil at the end was able to take the win home from him, because his opponent's team was just a bit crippled. The Megalopony, the main thing that was faster than Weevil and could kill it, was then at that point taken down. I don't know if that was the best choice of his best thing of his opponent to let the Megalopony go down there while Weevil was in the back. But yeah, Weevil was able to clean up the game and secure a big win for him, and that's why he is now the number 1 guy for me, because he has played 3 weeks, he has had a strong showing. I think he came from all the way to like place 10, 11 to number 1, so props to him. And I hope he does great in the future. But maybe we will see a new number 1 guy in 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe he stays here, who knows. But that's all for me, guys, so I will say bye, guys.